Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Fail PG. Back on remote today with Mr. Ross, Sir Goat, and Surge. And as usual, I am the Mighty Mage. Gentlemen, are you ready for this nonsense that's about to ensue?
Maybe.
Me? What do you mean me? Come to me.
Coming to you, Goat.
Nobody wants to look at Goat. Nobody wants to look at you either.
Just change it. Just skip
Uh,
you.
another B-roll where Goat is super quiet. I like it.
Just
Also,
skip me.
guys, keep a eye. Just let us know in the comments below if my new mic setup is fine. We were going through audio setup earlier. Mighty Mage said that he had some issues hearing me, and everybody else says I'm kind of fine. But just let us know in the comments below if there's any issues in this video that you hear, and shout at me and tell me how terrible I am at this, and I will do my best to fix it.
Because it's
Shout at him and tell him he's terrible anyway.
Yes, tell me about the fail that I absolutely.
Or just shout out Skype because Skype.
Skype is shite.
Skype is shite. And if y'all hear a phone go off in the background, I am on call. So have fun with that, people.
Yeah. I need to adjust my camera. I didn't realize my headspace was so little.
This late? On call this late?
It's 24 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Oh,
There
boy.
we go. That's better.
At any time, they could call me.
So wait a minute. 24 hours starting when?
For the
On
weekend.
Friday, when I go at 5 o'clock on Friday, on call starts from me.
For like the whole weekend?
Yes.
For Friday to Friday.
Wow. Okay then.
Yeah.
So,
I was lucky enough where I had a company that I worked for, and it was just on call for the weekend. So.
That's nuts.
bastard.
Well, let's hope that nobody does anything stupid tonight while we're recording that would warrant a call to you.
Oh, the major one is taken care of. People keep getting stuck in the elevator. So
They call you to take out fire. That's the wrong department. You better call the fire department.
So about that elevator thing.
yes, Serge.
Remember the last time I was over there? Remember how I walked?
That wasn't you.
Remember when I walked in with a stick and I didn't leave with the stick?
What you do with that stick? This
You're
is
welcome.
why we having trouble.
And this is why we can't have nice things.
Never, ever have nice things. Don't be dancing. Stop. Put your hands down. No, don't wave them
Matter
like
of
you
fact,
just
I'm
don't
gonna do
care.
dousing.
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah, when he does that takes a lot of leg strength though. That's pretty.
Well, don't forget he's super rubber man, so.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought something was off. I gotta go close my door. I'll be right back. Excuse me.
So while Surge is being a great fool and fixing up his setup,
And failing.
let's see here.
Non-stop.
Oh no, you know what? I think we have to start with Ronnie because she hasn't gone in a while. We finished up with Seregios and Stryker and Noel on the last episode. So
Yeah,
But
Ronnie,
Ronnie started didn't Ronnie start the last episode though?
she may have.
Pretty sure she started the episode.
Well, you're starting again. Have fun.
You're starting again. Congratulations.
Look, you got a date, so you need to stop clapping like that.
Wait. Ronnie has a date, but Stryker doesn't?
My girlfriend.
You don't
is
know
back-
that.
My girlfriend is.
Oh, you're
back
right.
at home.
Oh, wait, you're right. He's on his way to a assassin gangbang. I forgot.
No, my
Hey,
girlfriend
this-
is back
is
and
this-
helping healing people.
That's what she's telling. That's what she's telling Stryker in the letters. But she's with Andre the hunter.
Andre the Hunter and his 6 married men. And yes, she's healing them all at once, if you know what I'm saying.
Hey, right.
Hey, at least I ain't Noel's wife, at a brothel.
No, she doesn't work at a brothel. I worked at a brothel.
Yeah, but since you're not there, guess where she's at now? Somebody's got to pay the bills.
He's like, what? That traitorous H word. I want to know.
You traitorous hussy. Why is everybody
All
afraid to say
right.
the word hussy? I don't understand.
Oh,
I thought you were saying huh. My bad.
either
Why is
one.
anybody afraid to say that word either?
I don't know.
Or W, the W word, or the huge W word.
What's a
Oh, no,
what?
Planets?
this
Wait. What's a wahore?
Yeah, well,
Whoa.
this episode is off to such a fantastic start already. We're only
oh,
what 5 minutes in.
And we've already lost the monetization if we actually had
the,
monetization in the first place.
right. The
We
apocalypse.
lost that the first day we started recording.
Yeah, pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure like the first 10 minutes of that was me too. Let's get it going then.
All
I'm ready.
right.
Let's get
I'm
it
ready.
on.
I'm ready. Not ready, but
Yeah, I seriously doubt that you're ready, but
okay.
we'll get going anyway. So you're at the quarry, having just invited Alan, your digging mate, to an arm wrestling contest to see if you'll answer any of his questions about what you're doing up there in Kish. And then, maybe some dinner and drinks. We'll see.
We'll see. But so I'm assuming that we're just going straight over to whatever bar is closest to once we get back in town. So my question to that would be, what's the closest bar when we get back in town? Or are we
Well,
gonna
I'll
be
leave it up to you. Do you want to go to the closest one, or do you want to go back to the White Stag where you spent the night?
Going to
closest
the
one?
White Snake.
Only because I don't want anybody who I don't exactly know or trust yet knowing where I'm staying.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. You guys head back into town, and Alan actually claps you on the shoulder and motions for you to follow him. I know a good place you might like. They got some good beer and some good space for parties, some good music. Fine establishment for us. And he starts heading down the street, and it's, the usual maze of twisting alleyways and roads. Nothing has signs anywhere, but eventually you guys come upon an establishment. The building looks like it's like half sunk into the ground. The whole thing is just leaning a little bit. It it looks very old, uh, definitely kind of run down and ragged. But there's bright orange light coming through the windows. The door, which doesn't quite sit straight on the hinges, allows a thin beam of warm glow to shine through it. There's smoke pouring from the chimney, and you can hear the sounds of raucous laughter inside. The
My
sign out front is just a hammer and nail.
uh so first of all, my first thought is obviously Uncle Arik helped make this place. and the
Maybe he did.
and the hammer and nail, would that be anything that would mean anything to Ronnie?
That's up to you.
I'll wait until I get inside to make that decision then. Let's see who's running this place.
Right. You guys step in, and there's a thick, smoky, hazy atmosphere inside. There's some very lively music being played by a three-man band in one corner. There's barmaids going back and forth between tables, and occasionally, swinging around with some of the customers. There's a lot of patrons in there. The place is actually pretty packed, but given that it's now getting onto early evening and most people are getting off of whatever jobs they've been doing, this is kind of to be expected. And there's a sort of wispy, white-haired, shriveled, shrunken old man behind the counter. His face is kind of scrunched up like a prune, long, wispy, sort of vaguely Chinese, but
Vaguely
goatee
Chinese.
kind of beard going on there. And he's back behind the counter and looks over at you guys. His eyebrows arch way up to kind of open his eyes a little bit. Come on in. What can I get for you?
Heads I know him, tails I don't. All right, it's tails. We don't know him. Cool. Shush. So I'll walk in. Top of the evening to you, sir. And how are you this lovely evening?
Oh, business is thumping as always, so I couldn't be happier. What can I get you? Oh, Alan, it's good to see you again. I know what you want already, as usual, I presume. Yeah, that's what I want. How about another one for me friend Ronnie here? All right then, coming right up. And he turns around and sort of shuffles off to one side of the bar to fetch whatever Alan's regular is.
So, as the old man shuffles off to go get his regular, I'll look at Alan. Don't forget, I still need a table in order to do what I have to do here.
I must have missed that. Say that again?
Oh, don't forget, I still need a table to do what I'm here to do.
Ah, that's right. And Alan just sort of gives you a grin, says, "Don't you worry about that." And he kind of cranes his neck around. He stands taller than a lot of the people in the tavern. And after a little bit of looking around, he gestures back to the far corner, sort of opposite where the musicians are. Looks like that table over there's open for us.
Lead the way. And as I say that, I'll shift my axe from its position over my shoulder and just do Ronnie's usual.
Mm-hmm. Now, about that same time, a pair of tall, frothing mugs slide across the bar to where you guys are at, stopping very neatly right in front of each of you. And Alan pulls out a few coppers and drops them on the bar, which the old man snatches up faster than you would have expected for someone his age. And Alan grabs a pint in each hand and starts wading through the sea of people back to the corner table.
I shall follow.
He sits down. It's a small table. It accommodates the two of you, but clearly it's going to be a little bit cramped. And he sits his frothing mugs close together, one side by side, in the middle of the table. Gives you kind of a roguish smile for a moment. Says, "You gonna arm wrestle with that thing, are you?" Gesturing towards your axe.
Ronnie gives him just like a half of a smirk, drops the axe to her side, and just leans on it a little bit and just goes, "Oh, don't worry about this. This here's my baby."
He kind of chuckles at that a little bit. "I do kind of understand. Pickaxes have been my babies for the last few years. But no need to lean on that here, darling. None of these blokes is gonna mess with you. We're all just here for some good drink, good music, and a good time. Now then." And he leans forward, stretches his arm a little bit, offers it up to you. "How about we get started?"
Oh, I like this already. Ronnie will take the axe, sit it in the chair, and bend down to the table and meet his gaze.
All right. Give me
Contested strength.
contested strength.
That is a natty 12, baby. First natty of the game, and I'm winning it. Mwah!
Natty 12
Yes,
already.
baby.
Mr. Ross, your luck suck isn't working right now. What gives?
I blame the fact that he had to mute his mic on that one.
Shut up.
He's not in the game right now. Works for me.
Tisk.
Hey, wait, that means no. You might have a good day today too. Keep that in mind,
Maybe. Let's not jinx it.
All right. Well, with a nat 12, that's going to be hard to beat, although Alan rolled reasonably well. You guys get into it right off the bat and start struggling and straining. You were thinking that this would actually be pretty easy, considering all the things that you have done in the recent past. But surprisingly, he is able to hold his own, at least at first. And it takes considerable effort to start leaning his arm back towards his side of the table. Roll again for me.
11. Ooh. And if I remember correctly, my strength modifier is a 7? No, 5. Strength modifier is 5. 7's
You
the
said you
attack.
got an 11?
Yes.
All the high rollers today. You can see a vein kind of pulsing in Alan's temple as he's straining against you. And he's kind of like gritting his teeth, but ever so slowly he inches back a little bit further. Blimey! Lass, how did you get to be so strong?
Good genes, good family, good meat, and good training.
Give me another 12, sir.
That one is a little
For
lower.
what?
That one's an 8.
I have to do something about this tilted table. I keep losing my rolls here.
You get that from Uncle Arik too.
Yeah, I probably did. Wow, the dice are really favoring you today. After a few more moments of struggle, Alan finally can't take it anymore and hand falls back and slams solidly on his side of the table. And with a grunt, he kind of shakes his hand off. Blimey,
And I look up.
I ain't had an arm wrestler like that in, gosh, I can't even remember. Been years.
Ronnie will simply just smirk, look at him. Hope I didn't hurt you.
Couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Ronnie's just gonna smirk and look at him. Hope I didn't hurt you.
Ah, no, lass, don't worry about that. Just me pride.
And with that, she'll take a sip out of her mug.
And he'll lift his up and... To your health, Ronnie. And one hell of an arm.
You ain't seen nothing yet. And I will meet his pint with mine.
Alrighty. So, he lost the bet. He's not going to get any info on you. What a shame.
At least not today. Maybe
At least not.
next time.
Perhaps.
But
While you two are drinking away your sorrows and getting all chummy, Mr. Knoll and Seregios, you guys are in a very different bar. Having very different swill.
I guess, do we need to roll again for more constitution checks like last time?
Yeah.
Not unless you get some more of that moonshine.
No, I'm good.
I mean, Sir Regios, he might. He hasn't been back in a while, so. Let's see.
Well,
First
I
of all,
guess-
how much do I got on hand right now? Okay.
I guess I'm
So
riding
maybe.
the horse back.
Oh, and by the way, so weirdly enough, I didn't put it on the character sheet that was on this computer. It was on the other one. It was 20 gold that you gave for the advancement.
Okay.
I am an idiot. I don't know how I did that.
Well, you being a great fool and universal fail, that probably had something to do with it.
Most likely. Whoops.
Like always.
Shut it, nerd.
So, as I recall, the proprietor of the establishment, Mr. Ling, had just filled out the dead pool with everybody's bets on who would apprehend Stryker, how long it would take. And then all of the bounty hunters, almost all the bounty hunters in the establishment, out the door, leaving you, Seregios, and Noel, and one or two other patrons in there with the barkeep.
So,
Wow.
that being said, Sir Regios is gonna finish the rest of his moonshine in his cup, and then look up at the barkeep and just simply ask, "So what's been going on up at the temple lately?"
Well, we don't get a lot of insight into what happens up there. We send our boys up from time to time, but it's just a bunch of those stuffy old moldering dusty folks doing their bookworm and stuff. But I'll tell you what, they've gotten pretty good with their beer.
Hey, it's not bookworming. They're just educated.
So, which bookworms are we seeing up there?
Say that again.
Which bookworms are we seeing up there?
What do you mean? Which ones are we seeing up there? We see all of them up there. You know, they got their alchemists, who I think are messing with the beer that they're brewing. That's probably why so many people started liking their beer, because it wasn't that good to begin with, I tell you what. But ever since those alchemists started doing their silly stuff up there, people take a real liking to it. And let's see what else. They got some eggheads that like to look at the stars. I don't know what they see in the stars except stars, but they do it anyway. Then they got some old fuddy-duddies with, the long beards who think they're all that, who just live in these giant buildings full of books. I don't understand what that's about either. Who ever got anything useful out of a book? Not me, I tell you.
With that, he'll continue to shuffle his deck. And then he'll...
I got something useful out of a book. It's called a Karma Centaura, and it's written by some foreigner. That's what Noel said.
The Ling kind of looks at you funny, like, what's a Karma Centaura?
I don't know. Me and my wife like it.
and Ling kind of is sort of taken aback by this. He says, wait a minute. You're telling me you can learn things about women in books?
Yeah. Very intimate.
Sir Reggio's
He
just
looks
gonna...
over to Sir Reggio's. He's like, is this true?
Sir Reggio's just shaking his head. He's like, I have no clue what this man is talking about. And he looks at Noel and goes, stop trolling people.
I was like, I'm not trolling them. Don't be mad because you're not educated. I'm trying to give this man some advice.
I tell you what, you bring me one of those books on the down low, like, don't tell anyone. If you bring me one of those books, there'll be a few coppers in it for you.
Oh, good luck finding it.
Hold on, you know what? This might actually be better if I had an actual playing card deck in my hand. Where do you go? I have to go in the closet. I might
If it's
actually have
not
to go
readily
in
at
the closet.
hand, don't go hunting for it. We don't have time for that.
Yeah. I'll wait until it's Striker's turn and I'll go get it. But Sir Regios is going to draw 3 cards and place them on the table. And then look up at the barkeep and go, choose your card.
We're actually going to play this card game of yours, huh? All right. The middle one.
The middle one?
Grabs the middle one.
All right. So if it's an even number, it's a face card.
Mm-hmm.
If it's an odd, it's a number card.
All right.
6. Not only is it a face card, it is the king.
But what suit?
Of hearts.
I mean, you guys were just talking about pleasing the women, so that would make sense.
Yeah.
It's a 3, so it's actually of clubs.
Oh, disappointing.
It's so disappointing.
All right. Now what? Mister, I want to play a card game imaginarily.
I'll look at Noel. Pick up one of the 2 remaining cards.
Okay.
The old man took the one in the middle, so it's the one on the left or the one on the right.
The one on the right.
All right. One on the right is also a face card. It is also a king. And it is indeed the King of Hearts.
Oh, that's pretty good.
All right.
You lady killer, you.
All right. Oh, that book is now all ale and swine. So there's this chapter in the book where a woman straps this wooden phallus on her and then She has her way with you. We have to avoid that chapter.
And the card that Sir Regios picks up is the 5 of spades.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Sucks. I'm done. I'm done.
He takes his card, sticks it back in the deck, and looks at the two of you and goes, "Who has the hearts, King?"
I do.
Interesting. So that means that you have the clubs, King.
Yeah.
One of you will make a prosperous year this year. So congratulations, your business is going to go booming soon.
It's always booming, but that's good to hear anyway.
Nothing like a second boon. And he looks back at Noel. Noel, you seem to have many friends in many places, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a huge chance that you may lose one.
I don't believe in that hocus pocus.
And actually, Ling puts a hand on your shoulder, Noel, and says, I wouldn't be too quick to dismiss it. You know that one of the people up in that monastery is an oracle. And surprisingly enough, she's right most of the time. This hocus pocus stuff might seem weird to you, but sometimes it's legit.
Well,
No, he
Mr.
turns
Romano
back to
here.
Sir Regios and he's like, I don't remember you being a medium or anything like that. Where'd you learn this stuff?
During my travels, I met a couple different people who used to use these cards to make predictions. Picked up a lot of tricks from them. How accurate they are is one thing or another, but hasn't let me wrong yet.
That's very interesting. You might want to take those up there and give the oracle a run for her money. I could get another Deadpool going.
Perhaps, but for now, and Sir Regios will pull a card from the middle of the deck. Let's see what he gets. Whoops, wrong dice. Here we go. It's 3 and a 4. Oh, 3 and 4. Okay, so he just pulled, and anybody who's good with spade, who's ever played spades before, you know that this is technically a high card. He just pulled the 2 of spades.
Mm-hmm.
And
Usually, depending on who's playing.
yeah, and he looks at it and he goes, well, 50-50 chance striker's living. And then puts it back in the deck.
So where are you fellas off to after drinking my wonderful moonshine?
Oh, we're heading to the monastery in a moment, but I want to make sure that something adds up in timing, it's all. That's why we took the moment to stop. And he looks at Noel, and then looks at the shield, and then touches the shield ever so gently with just the tip of his index finger to check to see if the paint is still wet.
I look at him like this, like,
The paint is dry.
Perfect.
great.
So, checks it out, looks at it. Good. Now, we can move about town freely.
Oh, yes. But, hey, what kind of paint is this?
I'm not really sure what the stuff's made of. You have to ask the people in the monastery. He picks it up, hands it to Noel. Looks at
Hopefully it's oil-based.
looks at the old man. When I'm finished with my business, I'll make sure to return, and me and you can share a drink like the good old days.
I'll hold you to that. You can tell me some more about these cards, maybe.
Absolutely.
And you can bring me that book about the ladies. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty. I only fought in Uruk in an Uruk shop. Oops. I'm talking out my behind. You know, I visited Uruk.
Must have been before they set up that damnable blockade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't talk about the issue getting through that, but at least we made it through.
Well, that's more than a lot of other folks. Though I do happen to know a few people who've made it possible for me to keep my own supplies coming through. So if you need something, food, specialty drinks, specialty items, you can always talk to me.
When have I ever not been able to come to you for such things?
That's my man, and that's why I'm here.
And you make sure if you need something while I'm out and about again to send your messengers to find me.
Oh, don't you worry about that. We've got the city covered. Good luck on your hunt.
Thank you. And with that, Sir Regios will put his playing cards away back into its pouch, picks up his shovel, signals to Noel to follow, and walks out the door.
Right. Where are you headed?
Well, first he's going to take a moment, step in the middle of the street, take a look around, see what's going on currently around him.
Well, I mean, there are a few people milling about. None of them really take any particular notice of you.
Any of the city watch or guard around?
Oh, there's that one fella that you saw on the way in towards the White Cobra is still about where you left him. That seems to be his duty station, and he's just sort of standing around there, his pole arm, whatever it is, standing a few heads above the crowd, and he just sort of seems like he's standing around looking kind of bored, really.
Good. So, no, are you coming out yet?
Yeah, I'm coming out.
Okay. So, as soon as he comes through the door, I pull out the rope and go until we get out of town. And then immediately wrap his hands back up.
Why is that?
And I point towards the city guard.
Oh. Carry on. I begrudgingly, I go, well, okay, fine.
And
You did give him his shield back. You're going to have to take that back from him if you want to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'll have to. I'll put it on my back for now.
Okay?
And then I'll make him walk ahead of me, and I'll walk behind him. So it looks like I'm actually guarding the prisoner. And
All
I'll
right.
tell him which way to walk as we head towards the monastery.
And which way is that, sir?
Let's see. From this direct, I gotta remember where we are in the city now. Where the white snake is. Where's... You threw that in the chat last time, right?
I'll tell you what. I'll put it up here, because last time I showed you the physical copy.
Ew. Look at that.
Nice and bright.
There we
Can
go.
you see it?
Not only can I see it, it is now in the recording.
Excellent.
So, if
So you guys, as I recall, were over in this area somewheres.
Okay. So we have to head up north.
All right. You're heading north, are you?
If I remember correctly, that should be the way towards the monastery in the mountains, yes.
So, Noel and Seregios, roll me 100 sides, please.
All right.
Ick. That's what I get for rolling those good numbers earlier. 64. I was just a few numbers of being nice.
Oh, I got a 71. 71.
That ain't
Oh, no,
good.
my bad. 17. I read it backwards. 17.
Oh, okay.
17, huh? Okay. You guys continue marching, and sorry, I'm turning off the screen share here. You walk past the guardsman who's standing on that little square, and his eyes sort of glance over the two of you and then continue sweeping the field. He barely even notices you as you pass him. And you guys continue on up the boulevard, wending your way through the winding streets in what you hope is north towards the monastery. And you walk for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and then you actually come to what looks like a great circle of road, like a roundabout or a rotunda. And here is the first indication of any kind of fortification you have seen so far in the city. there is a relatively small, I'd say maybe 8 foot tall, stone wall encircling something that you can't really see what it is. And the roadway follows the perimeter of this wall to the east and west.
What do you want to do now?
Sir Regios is going to. I'm doing two things at once. You have to excuse me. Sir Regios is going to. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Whoopsie. Shush, my yeast is rising. And you said there's a perimeter wall going up the rotunda, right?
Yeah, so the road sort of curves around this circular wall. The wall's not super high, but it's high enough to sort of mask whatever's on the other side. All you can really see are some outlines of buildings behind the wall.
Trying to remember. Is there an opening?
Yeah, that's what I
Not
was
in your
thinking.
immediate area.
Um,
Perception check.
Okay, what you looking for?
Well, entrance really, or way to get around.
yeah,
Give me a 12 side.
I was gonna actually just say, could I just roll for a memory check to see if I remember where the entrance is and how far it is?
Can I just do my perception first?
We can do them both at once. Noel, roll me a 12 for perception. That's
Okay.
a wisdom. And Seregios, roll me for intelligence.
Mine is a 6, and if I remember correctly, I got a negative on my intelligence. Yes.
Yeah,
I rolled terrible. I got a 2.
2 on perception.
Mm.
Noel's got decent perception bonus, but 2's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah.
And the -1 doesn't help anything.
No. So between the two of you, you don't see any obvious way like through this wall in your immediate area. You'll have to follow the road to the left or the right, going around the wall.
Tighty righty, lefty loosey. Right. Yeah, I know. Random. It's just I say right.
Yeah. Right. Let's go with
All
that.
right.
But not because you told me.
Sure.
Whatever. Yeah,
Go
sure.
left.
Just pull the Archer thing to say. Fine, I'll go, but not because you told me to.
You guys start circling around to the right, which is taking you to the east, and a few more 15 minutes, say, of walking. You start to see what looks like a stream of people going sort of tangentially to your path, streaming in from other parts of the city. So there's probably an entrance up ahead. In a few minutes more, you actually arrive at it. It looks like this entrance is facing roughly due east, and there's a rather broad street that continues off to the east, and a fairly thick stream of people going into the fortification and coming back out. And then the road continues to curve to the north past that.
And
I say continue taking the road.
yeah, we can continue to do that. There we go.
Because I want the entrance to the monastery shouldn't be kind of isolated if there's no one in that road.
So which way are you guys going? North, east, into the fortification, to the west?
North.
North. That's
North.
what. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You guys sort of weave your way through the throng of people going into and out of this circle of stone, and then continue winding your way northward around it until eventually a modest-sized road peels off from the rotunda, continuing north and slightly to the west, where you believe the monastery should be.
Great. Oh, and in case you were wondering what I was doing, I switched my nameplate.
Okay. Yeah, we should just keep going.
Okay. All right. Give me another 100 side, both of yous.
Okay.
$64
Ooh,
again.
what? 25. I got a good one.
At least you did. I got 64 again.
All right.
Well, how am I running 64 twice in a row? That's interesting.
Yeah, I know.
I don't like it.
That's what you get for those high rolls on the arm wrestling contest.
Yes, because you rolled an 11 and a 12. Now you have to suffer.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're
Equivalent
spoiling your
exchange.
date.
Full Metal Alchemist, man.
Or it could be because I'm using the same dice for two different characters.
Could be. You guys continue northward, passing a handful of guards scattered at various intersections, but none of them really seem to pay you the time of day. You're just another couple of people in the crowd. One of them kind of eyeballs you, Seregios, for a moment, and the fact that the guy you're escorting is bound, and then just sort of huffs, smirks a little bit, and looks away. Obviously, bounty hunters or people escorting apparent prisoners is nothing new here. Striker. Hi. Hi. So,
It's too late, buddy.
oh yeah,
Okay.
you're so totally doomed. You're so totally doomed. So you are standing at the entrance to what you assume has to be Kutuphane Monastery. A small, ornate stone wall and very stately looking gatehouse crowned with a very intricately carved dragon's head guard entry to the compound. Beyond the heavy oaken gates, a dozen stately looking buildings in the sort of Chinese architectural style dot the mountainside, spread across three terraced levels, joined by switchback pathways and small bridges. There are men and women, apparently of all ages, wandering along the twisting pathways, their arms filled with produce of various kinds. There are mules occasionally braying, going up and down the slopes, pulling carts, some of which seem to be loaded with enormous casks of something. Others loaded with barley or grain or something along those lines. The assassins are kind of standing behind you. Twitchy is still right next to you at this point. And the lead assassin for a moment is actually seems to be stunned to silence. And after a moment and a beat, he says, "I didn't think it would be this pretty."
I go.
All right, look. We're here for one purpose and one purpose only, to get
No.
that scroll translated. We get in, we find whoever it is translates the scroll, we get out, we go home, you get to live. Sound like a good plan?
I look at him and I go. First, I say, you know what? It is as pretty as I remember since I was here before. Then I looked at him. I said, look, I know I've been giving you some trouble lately, and I want to apologize. Let's get this job done, and then we can both go about our separate ways, and we never, ever, ever, ever have to see each other ever again. You go home, I go home. Deal?
That would please me greatly. Yes, let's get to it. And the faster we get this done, the better. We might even be able to leave here without that infernal Seregios.
Oh, let's do this.
All right, Striker.
I say, because if y'all don't kill me, he's going to kill me. Either way, somebody's going to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
So then I start walking. I was like, all right, I think we got to go up this street right here, make a left, and we should be right there at the monastery.
All right. You guys walk through the ornate gates and into the compound. Most of the people inside don't really spare you much of a glance. It seems, fairly common for people to be wandering in and out. As you walk up the slope of the first terrace level, you actually see a number of people who look a little bit out of place. Their clothing is markedly different. Some of it is very brightly colored. Others are wearing very ornate or stylish clothing. Some of them have extravagant jewelry. While most of the other people on that same level are wearing like plain tan or white tunics, work shirts, the things that normal peasants would wear. Some of them maybe with some brown robes. Everybody on the first level, though, seems to be, carrying something, some basket of goods or box of goods, or leading a mule behind or ahead of a cart, except for these well-dressed people who kind of look at all these other peasants with some disdain.
Can I do a perception check to see if I know any of them?
Sure, give me a 12.
Honestly, I was more curious to see how many of them remember Stryker.
We'll find out in a moment.
And how many of them have bad memories.
I got an 8.
An 8. All right. You look around, and the first few faces you see don't look familiar at all. But then, oh wait, there's one fella coming down the path from further up the slopes, coming towards you. He's got these sort of navy blue robes on him, and he's escorted by 2 or 3. They look like I don't know, squires or something, just young boys struggling to carry a whole bunch of things for him. And he's got this sort of perpetual sneer on his face, like there's a piece of dung or something right under his nose. And as he walks towards you, you look at him. You know what? You might have done a job for him. Oh, that might have been one of those jobs that didn't go all that well. And about the same time you're thinking that, he kind of glances in your direction, looks back away, pauses for a moment, and looks back at you, and the sneer just intensifies like threefold.
That right there. You see that dragon? You see the dragon right there? That's a nice dragon. Dragon.
This nobleman quickens his pace and strides towards you. Striker! I recognize your ugly face anywhere. What the hell are you doing here?
Do I know this person? I exactly know this person.
You remember this is probably somebody you did a job for, and it probably didn't go all that well. You think that his name might have been Kover or Kuvan or Kurdish. It started with K.
Okay, so he walks up like Kobolds, Kovet,
Cornelius.
He's just like turned purple, and then a tick form on his right temple. Not only did you lose my shipment of Bavarian ale, but you can't even remember my name.
Me? Lose your aunt to me? I would never.
Okay, so I'm just going to take a moment to realize that I actually just mouthed you word for word without knowing what you were going to say. I apologize. I didn't mean to tap into your character by accident. I'm sorry.
Obviously, I'm doing something right here.
Predictable in a good way.
Yeah. And he just sort of turns his nose up and glares down. And you notice that his nose is actually fairly long and kind of hooked at the end. And it would be comical if he wasn't so fuming mad at you.
Oh, man.
And he just says, "Oh, you'll remember my name before the day is out, Striker. I collect on my debts. Now that I know you're back here," and he sort of glances at your assassinly escort, who are sort of half defensive and half amused by all this. He glares back to you. "I'll be in touch later."
And I'm going like, wait, what?
Shoves you off to the side.
What? It was Sir Regios who lost your stuff, and just keep walking away.
And you two part ways, he continuing down the slope.
Just remember, it was Sir Regio, not me.
Regios.
You know what? Roll a 12 side for deception.
Oh, you got lucky, Regios.
Oh, I knew you were going to fail that.
It was 5.
You ever notice anytime you try to slate either one of my characters, you roll exceptionally low?
Hey, man, things change.
It was worth a try. All right. The lead assassin just sort of sidelong glances at you, Stryker, and then he's like, "I don't even want to know. Let's just get on with the mission.
It really was Sir Regios. I'm telling the
I
truth.
don't care. Let's get this thing translated and get out of here, and then it won't matter."
True that. Let's go. And I'm just dreading every time I'm walking out saying, just don't let that one person be up there. I know it's one person up there that really hates me.
You'd
I know
have,
it's
you'd
gonna
have
be.
probably been better off seeing the twins. Now you're screwed.
I just know it's gonna be somebody up there. I already saw one person. There's a lot of more jobs that I didn't fail, but stuff happened. This
Uh-huh.
is what happens when I work with people, with partners. Just know I like to work alone.
What you
So,
get?
Stryker, as you continue walking up the slopes, you're suddenly captured by a most delightful aroma. Um, it it smells like honeyed mead, one of your favorite kinds, actually, and it seems to be coming from from a building just off to your right, a little bit further up the slope, and you can see a thick white smoke or vapor or something pouring out of a chimney. There are several large vats stood up next to this building, people going in and out with what looks like crates of barley, and a mule pulled up to one side, pulling an empty cart that small boys are rolling barrels toward.
You
And
still having child labor laws around here? Jesus. Wait, you said small barrels. Wait a minute. Is Nolan one of those?
you want to go look?
No, I'm not gonna go look. You know what?
Keep in mind, this is
No.
this is your partner right now.
uh, I'm walking. I was like, oh man. Ah, that brings me back. That brings me back. I look at the assassin like, I kind of want to go, but I'm looking at his face. I'm like, yeah, we're just gonna keep going because I feel like if I deviate from this, then he's gonna kill me. So I was like, on our way back down, we're stopping, right? We're stopping. We're just gonna.
And roll me a 12 side for persuasion.
Yep, a 4. God dang, I know what it is. God dang, I just thought about that. I gotta have my piece of paper or box right here.
I gotta check. I gotta check something here. So,
Would that be considered charming? No.
so you know what? That works. Because your modifier is better than his. And
Cool.
he glares for a moment, and then, gods, it has been a long time since I had a proper drink, not that swill on that ship. All right,
Exactly.
fine. If we get done quickly, we'll stop for whatever they have it.
Let's do this. And I just pick up speed like they say, look, I don't care if you can kill me after this. Just let me get my drink first. All right, let's go. I want to die a happy man, not a sad man.
Three Stooges, man. You play Three Stooges music while you're running away.
You said, well, I'm running up
Win,
there.
win, win.
So, are you continuing up to the second terrace, or are you stopping somewhere in the first?
Let's keep going.
All right. You cross a small rope and plank bridge across a small stream that's trickling down the side of the mountain, and then hook around a switchback corner and start ascending higher to the mountain, up to the second terrace. Up here, the wheat and barley fields that covered the lower slopes fade away and now are replaced by multiple small but very stately looking huts and small outbuildings. Some of them have little chimneys, and strangely colored smoke is wafting up out of several of them.
Yeah. Just be careful around here. These where the witches live, you know.
And right as you say that, as you're walking by one of those huts, you hear a sudden loud bang inside, and then bang, 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 and then pause, and then it worked! Ah, 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 my room's on fire! Ah, ah, somebody get the water!
And the striker says that's their problem.
They're potion makers, but you know, I just call them witches.
Yes.
Wait, alchemists? Not all
fortunately,
alchemists are witches.
we don't need any of their services. Let's keep moving. I'm okay!
Oh, he's okay. Let's keep going. I'm just thinking about that nice ale when I come back down. Like,
You come upon another small collection of buildings, one of which has a very, what looks like a really large spyglass, like the captain of the boat had. This one is so big, it actually sits on what looks like a tripod of some sort. And it's turned away from the skies at the moment, sitting out under the tile roof. But there's an old wizened guy sitting next to it, charting on some notes. And he sort of glances up at you, and quirks an eyebrow for a moment, and then goes back to his notes.
Can I see? Can I check to see if I know this guy?
Sure.
7.
You look him over for a moment. He does seem familiar. It's been a few years. That might be that Sirius Doge character. An astrologer? Astro something. Started with A.
Hey,
Eh?
what is your
Yes?
job? What is your job title? I feel like I know you, but I just can't put my finger on it.
I am Sir Sirius Doge, the lead astronomer of Kutuphane Monastery. Can I help you?
Let's have a question.
Yes?
What is the biggest star you ever seen?
Oh, yes. Well, let me see. That's a good question. Betelgeuse is certainly one of the brightest. Sirius, my namesake, is even brighter still. But let's see. The brightest yet, I think, would have to be Unara. Yes, one of the wanderers. She appears low in the sky at dawn and dusk, and she moves in erratic ways compared to the others. Most fascinating. I'm in the process of charting her course. Yes, most gratifying work.
I was gonna be the guy. So you're talking about that thing right there that's moving from this place to that way?
What do you mean? He's looking
That right
around.
thing right there. That's in the
That's
sky
the
right now.
sun.
Oh, then you talking about the moon?
No.
Then what
You
star are
can't
you talking
see
about?
it at midday. Come back later.
Okay, if we have time, I will come back later because I want to see that star. That sounds pretty cool. You have a great day.
Yes, whatever. Stop wasting my time.
You wasted my time.
He just goes back to his notes, muttering under his breath about damn fool amateurs.
That's why you're the professional. And I just walk away.
And the
Honestly,
lead
you're not
assassin
smart.
just gives you a sidelong glance, like, what the hell was that about? Like, why? Just why?
I like stars.
You're going to be seeing stars if you don't stick to the plan.
But and I'd start going like, well, back in the day when I was raised by my mama wolf, we used to sit outside and look at the stars at night.
Oh, don't start with the raised by wolves thing again.
And I
We've
used to
all
ask her,
heard it.
and I asked her, what was those big bluish black things in the sky?
Yes, fireflies, I know.
but also I thought it was my ancestors from the past.
Oh, the references are strong with this one. Moving on.
But
If
at
I
least
roll
I
a
didn't.
20, he dies for all the references. It's an 11.
Well,
You're lucky.
we're
And
going
then
to come
so,
back to Ronnie.
but then we continue walking, and now you can go back to Ronnie.
You're going to continue walking. We're going to come back to Ronnie.
Hello.
Ronnie,
All right.
you're about 3 pints
Hi.
in at this point.
Really?
Alan took his arm wrestling loss well in stride, and as a consolation prize to Ronnie, bought her another round. But one round ended up turning into 2 rounds, and you guys have been sort of laughing and joking. Mostly Alan, mostly telling Ronnie stories about quarry mishaps, which are usually pretty gruesome and grisly, but also kind of weirdly funny. Like that one time the guy was hauling blocks to the cart and he set the block down on the cart but forgot to pull his fingers out from under it. Yeah, that was a good
Yeah, that's hilarious.
one.
Watch me forgets to get his fingers from up under the rocks.
I know, right? Bloody moron. He screamed like a little girl, he did.
So I guess in trade of his quarry stories, I will regale him of stories of my travel. Just some of the different work I've done, some of the different places I've seen. Nothing huge. Although I will leave out everything with Ulrich at the moment, because again, don't really know this guy, don't know if I can trust him yet.
Well, he seems thoroughly impressed by the exploits that you do choose to share with him. And for one or two of those stories, actually, for a moment, seems to get an almost misty-eyed look. But quickly downs another gulp of his beer and gives you another grin as you continue on. And after a little while of this, he sort of leans back and says, "Well, you are quite the storied lass, aren't you?"
The only thing I'm missing is killing that of either a demon, a dragon, a god, or taking down a whole entire nation.
Little bit ambitious there, aren't you?
It's all fables and stories passed down through the ages throughout my village.
Well, now, I don't know much about gods or demons, but I know that dragons ain't exactly a fable. Not up here, anyway.
Huh. I'm sure that's true, but aren't they all extinct at this point?
Oh, no. No, not at all. Where have you been living that you haven't seen any dragons?
And then I raise my eyebrow, as in to say, have you really been paying attention to what I've been telling you?
I just thought that you were leaving them parts out. I thought dragons lived all over the world. We see them a couple times a month up here. Most of the time, they leave us alone. Ain't you ever noticed all the other cities south of here that they don't have any big fields of livestock, any large farms? Kish is the #1 exporter of meats and live animals in all north of Ilara. And I assume that's because we're the only ones the dragons don't bother. Everywhere else, they like to, hunt those animals. Easy kills and all. Gives farmers a lot of grief down in the south. But up here, they don't bother us. But we still see them flying every now and then.
We've never had any problems with them. In fact, we've raised our own stock and everything as well. It's actually kind of interesting.
Why, that it is. Huh. Perhaps your southern tribes have something in common with us up here in the north.
Yeah, we're really keen to our nature.
Well, I don't know about that for us. We kind of sprawl out a little bit, but there is something about this place that keeps the dragons from bothering us, and I'm certainly grateful for that. I don't have any minds to be fighting any dragons in my life.
I don't know. Maybe one time. Just to see what the feeling's like.
Well, if you happen to see any up here, try to fight them outside of the city, eh?
Noted. And with that, she'll raise her glass, take another hit.
All right. So, what do you want to do with the rest of your evening, Ronnie?
I mean, at this point, Ronnie's thinking about the amount of gold she's going to need to make. The now knowledge that dragons are actually still around and flying about interests her. She's hoping that maybe she can see one, because maybe getting a dragon scale off of a actual dragon might be a little bit more interesting than trying to stack up a crap load of money to give to the black market and then make sure she's got enough to get back home with, to then make sure she has enough to give to Uncle Arik to actually put this armor together.
Mm-hmm.
If she can cut out at least one of those things, she's going to try.
It does sound like a tall order.
I mean, if I remember correctly, Uncle Arik said the amount of gold needed was going to be like 1,000 gold.
Almost. It was like 750-ish, I think it was.
Yeah, 750 for that. Then I have to buy the scales, and I'm pretty sure that's not going to be cheap. I'm probably looking at roughly about 500 a scale.
Possibly.
Yeah. So, and again, got to make sure I get back with money. So, Ronnie needs at least like close to 2,000, maybe.
Good luck.
That's a lot of gold.
Yeah, and currently in her inventory, she only has about 77, I think. 55 now. That's right, because we spent a little bit when we got in town. So yeah, 55 gold on hand currently. So that's a lot of gold to make up. So she's either got to put in a lot of time at the quarry, or she needs a big ticket job.
Big ticket job.
But in a place like this, a big ticket job could spell a lot of different issues.
Well,
does...
it makes good for. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Makes for good RPing.
True.
Big ticket job.
I did forget to say this last episode. I believe Alan said it was 5 coppers per loaded cart of stone.
Yes.
But we never actually talked about how many you guys produced before you called it for the day. So, because you guys were such workaholics and were competing so viciously to see who was the best stone cutter, you managed to fill 4 carts before the day was out. So, take an additional 20 copper pieces and add them to your pool. Or 2 silver pieces if you'd like to simplify it.
2 silver it is, so that will be 3 silver.
And that would give you an idea of just how much quarrying you'd have to do to make 2,000 gold.
Yeah, that's my whole point. And that was just for half a day.
Yeah, that was a half a day's work. So yeah, you might be able to get 30 or 40 coppers a day if you showed up bright and early and were able to sustain the same kind of output.
That means have fun with your boyfriend.
Ronnie's about to funny. Ronnie's about to be looking for a second gig to try to get some extra cash coming in. That's what that sounds like.
Well, you've got the rest of your evening. It's only mid-evening at this point. Like I said, you're about 3 pints in.
Is there a job post board inside of this tavern?
You can roll 12 side to look for one.
8.
You glance around in the tavern. It's a little hard to tell because of all the activity and the smoke, but you do see a couple of sheafs of parchment of some sort tacked up on a wall just behind the counter where the old man is working. Can't read anything from this distance, though.
I look at Alan. Excuse me for a minute. Put my pint down. Walk over to the bar so I can take a look at what's on the paper.
Okay. You get closer, and it looks like there are 3 sheets of parchment up there. One of them is a missing person report. Looks like it was filled out by the guards. Another one is a wanted poster. Similarly, looks like it was filled out by the guards. The third one, though, is looks like a much rougher, sort of poor quality sheet of parchment. It's tacked up with a small carving knife, and kind of sloppily written, looking for bouncers. Inquire with the barkeep.
So I wanted to, before I touch on the bouncer thing, because I'm probably gonna end up taking that one. I want to just take a closer look at the wanted poster and the missing person poster. Kind of see if I can make out the people that are on it.
The missing person poster, it looks like it's maybe a young girl. The artist's skills were not great, so it could be a young girl, it could be an old woman. It's really hard to tell. Somebody by the name of Linnea? No, it's hard to read it, but it looks like Linnea. And there's a 250 gold reward for tips and information leading to the recovery of the woman. And the other paper has a face that, boy, that looks familiar. It's, looks like he's got light hair, sort of medium dark skin, looks like he's a big fella. And the name underneath calls himself Striker, bounty hunter, wanted for larceny, grand theft, donkey, and a variety of burglaries, as well as a suspect in multiple homicides. Reward, 1,000 gold.
Ronnie's eyes widen at this, and then she looks at the bartender. Hey, that wanted poster. How long ago was that put up?
Let me make sure I've got the right guy here. I think that's right, yes. He eyes up at you and then looks over and squints at the thing. Well, I believe that's been up there for at least a year.
God damn it. I should have went to Murad. Then I could have captured him and brought him here. But I didn't know he was wanted. Damn it.
Do you think you might know where to find that fella?
I think. Last time I checked, he went to Murad with a buddy of mine, but I had no clue he was wanted.
Oh, well, it'll be pretty hard to get him from there. Good luck with that.
So, then she'll eye up the bouncer thing and she'll go, hey, what about this bouncer job?
Oh, the bouncer position. Well, that depends. That was posted pretty recently, and I understand that they're still looking, but they only want a certain kind of clientele, you know. I don't know if you're the right type for that. He sort of sizes you up and down. You got the build for it, I'll give you that.
And I go, what exactly are they looking for?
He looks around a little bit, motions you closer. Look, town's been going through a rough time lately with that blockade going on. The underground has been looking for some extra associates to help out. They're the only ones bringing supplies into the city right now. They need some people to lend a hand, keep the guards out of their business, keep moochers off of the docks when they're unloading. If you think that might appeal to you, I can set you up with a guy who will evaluate you. I get a little bit of incentive for sending people his way, but only if I like them.
I have to take a moment to think about this. And Ronnie's mind is going two ways. One, I really need to go. Two, if the blockade is causing this much issue, the quickest thing would be to probably go back to Lagash and speak with Atana and Bert and let them know the situation and why their blockade keeps getting hit. Because there's nobody able to do trade and it's causing people to go into uproar. Maybe they'll see sense and maybe they'll stop the blockade. So now the question comes, does she ask the question, how much does she get for stopping the blockade altogether?
Is she asking that?
You know what? Head she asks, tail she doesn't.
All right.
Heads, she asks.
I knew it was heads.
All right, let's hear it.
So if I was able to stop the blockade altogether, how much do you think that would get me?
Roll me a 12 side. We'll call this a charm.
Excuse
Well,
me.
as
Sorry.
her style implies, Ronnie has no charm, and that is a 2. That
Two.
was very close to being a 1. I got an extra bounce out of it, and that's the only reason why it was 2.
The old man kind of widens his eyes a little bit at you and then chuckles. If anybody could pull that off, well, it would be worth, I can't even imagine. Probably thousands of gold. I don't know who you'd collect it from, though.
She
But,
smirks.
you know what? If somebody could do that and then prove that they did it to the king, he might be willing to offer a substantial reward.
So Ronnie smirks and goes, bet. And then asks to see the missing persons poster.
Like, you want to take it with you, you mean?
Yes.
The old man kind of sighs reluctantly. You think you know this person?
No, but at least having something might help. I'll go see the city guard later and see if there's any details that's been given to them about her.
This is the only poster of that poor old soul that I have. I'm not willing to give it up, but if you're heading to the guardhouse anyway, I'm sure you could get another copy there.
You know her?
No, I don't. Young girl, I think, but that poster was put up more than a week ago. I think if she wandered off somewhere or was stolen, she's probably long gone by now. Poor thing.
Oh,
Don't
poor
worry.
little Tintin.
I'll keep an eye out. Don't you worry.
Well, good luck to you. Can I get you anything else to eat or drink?
Nah, I think I'm good for the night, but maybe tomorrow I'll stop by again.
All right.
And with that, I'm gonna head back over to the table where Alan is, grab my axe off this chair, and tell him, I'm gonna call it a night tonight, but I'll catch you at the quarry sometime tomorrow.
All right then, lass. Well, thanks for drinking with me. I look forward to seeing you later.
And
And he blows her a kiss.
Don't.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, exactly. I will offer up a fist bump and say, pleasure.
He'll return it, and then go back to drinking his swill.
And Ronnie will
His
start.
eyes still lingering on you though as you leave the tavern.
Ronnie will start making her way to the guardhouse first to see about this wanted poster.
Okay. As I recall, Ronnie does not have a map, so roll me a 100 side to see if you can find it.
Oh, I was going to ask directions to the first person on the street, but okay.
Okay, you can do that if you want.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, I'm just going to... Well, first of all, how many people are on the street currently right now?
It's after dark by this point, so there are not very many people currently out on the street. A handful of people shuffling by, though.
So I'll approach the first person I see and just ask if they know how to get there.
And as you approach the person, they actually kind of shy away from you. They're like, I don't have anything on me. No valuables.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to scare you. No, no, no. I'm trying to find the guardhouse.
The guardhouse? All right, well, and he looks around a little bit. Go down that road there and turn right, and then go down 3 more blocks, and that should take you to the guardhouse.
Thanks.
Yeah, whatever. And hurriedly scurries off.
All right, so I'll follow his directions to the letter.
All right, you will proceed down the road, down the twisted passageways that he suggested, and you make the left and the right, and you don't see any signs of a guardhouse. Yeah, anywhere. Pretty sure that you followed the man's instructions correctly, but yeah, there's nothing here. Just houses by the look of it, pressed in close together, looming over the street.
Huh. This can't be right. Maybe I made a wrong turn after all. And I'll start to kind of backtrack my way from where I came from.
Okay, roll me 100 side.
56.
You start backtracking and are reasonably sure that you backtracked exactly the same route. Although when you get to where you think the intersection should be for the hammer and nail, the sign is not there. And the street doesn't look familiar. You might have missed a turn, or maybe taken a turn too early. These roads are like a maze.
Should always take a right.
Okay. So I'm going to backtrack by 1 block. Just 1.
Okay.
100 side?
Yep.
Yep.
You got it.
That is a 61. Oh, I'm sorry. It's upside down. It's a 91. That's even worse.
A 91. Awesome.
Oh
You
my goodness.
backtrack what you think is a block, and yeah, the streets here are completely unfamiliar to you. And to make matters worse, now you're not completely sure how you got there either.
Anybody around on the street right now?
No. This particular street seems to be completely empty and devoid of life. In fact, the buildings lining the street are all dark, and their windows shuttered and their doors closed.
Uh-oh. He rolled first before I could figure out what I wanted to do. This ain't good.
As you're looking around, trying to make up your mind what you want to do next, you think that you glimpse a shadow flicker off in an alleyway between 2 buildings up ahead of you. But as you focus on the spot, it's gone.
Ronnie is going to slowly grab her axe now
Mm-hmm.
and put it to the side of her just in case she needs to quickly swing for somebody's skull. As she continues to try to navigate her way, at the very least, back to the hammer and nail.
Another 100 side.
Oh my god, that one's way better. That's a 9. Ah!
A 9. All right. 9. Whoop. It would help if I wasn't always dropping my dice. Yeah. So, you kind of warily start backing out of that street, back down the way that you think you came. And instead of going the full block that you think you traveled back, you go only about 2/3 of a block back. And as you're walking back, still occasionally looking over your shoulder to see if you're being followed, the streets start to get a little bit brighter. There are more instances of torchlights or braziers, and actually you spy a guardsman standing on one street corner at an intersection of four streets with what looks like a halberd and a small buckler strapped to his back. He looks kind of bored. He glances at you as you approach and then looks away, not really paying much attention.
I'm gonna approach him, but at this point, since I'm approaching him, I'm gonna take my battle axe and put it right back into its natural position over my shoulder, so it's not seen threatening.
Okay.
And I will simply ask him for directions to the guardhouse.
You approach him with the axe slung across your shoulders, and he looks at you more intently as you get closer, and actually puts both hands on the haft of his halberd and brings it down to a ready position. Halt there!
Sorry about that. Top of the evening to you. I'm actually kind of lost.
Top of the morning.
Why? What do you want?
I'm actually trying to make my way to the guardhouse.
The guardhouse?
Yes.
What do you want with the guardhouse?
I saw a wanted poster inside the Hammer and Nail. Alongside that poster was a missing persons poster. I wanted to know more about the missing person.
Oh, I see. All right. And he takes one hand off of the shaft of his halberd and motions over his shoulder. Take that street, 3 streets down, left, and then 3 more streets down. There's a large sign out front, crossed halberds with a shield. You can't miss it.
Thank you. And
Move along.
Ronnie will do her best not to get lost this time.
Give me 100 side.
I knew it.
Remember, it's 5 streets down.
3 streets down, you dick. Then a left and then another 3 streets down. I heard what he said.
Well, as long as you paying attention, Ronnie.
But unfortunately, the dice says otherwise, and I rolled an 85. And I blame you, you piece of shit.
Hey, if I'm rolling bad, we're all rolling bad.
As you're walking down, but you realize that in the dark, it's really hard to distinguish between an alleyway and an actual street because there is no lighting and you're not carrying a torch. And so you think that you count 3, turn left and count 3 more. But when you get to where you think you ought to be, there is no sign with a shield and crossed halberds.
God damn it. I'm going to back. I'm going to go back to where I turned in.
All right, let's have the hunter side.
Okay, that one's better. That's a 31.
Okay, you managed to backtrack to the street where the corner where the guard was.
Okay, we're gonna start from there. Go down all 3 streets. Make our left.
All right, let's have it.
Oh my God, 18. Yes, finally. The curse is broken.
This time, you decide that narrower street that you had counted as a street was actually an alleyway, and don't count that one. Go one additional street beyond it, make your turn, and aha, there, a ways down the road, you can see the sign poorly lit by a small brazier of the crossed halberds and shield. And there are what look like 2 sentries posted outside of the building. Most of the lights in the building are dim, but it looks like there are still some candles or something lit inside.
Right.
And with that, welcome back, Mr. Noel.
Hey.
Time. Nolan Seregios, you are now up. And after wandering the city for a couple of hours, you come to that same stately stone and timber bridge across the much smaller river leading up to the mountains that Stryker crossed a few hours earlier.
So at this point, I should definitely know my way up the path, I feel like. So we're just going to cross the bridge, start making our way, and then I'm going to kind of start explaining to Noel like all the different things that he'll find when we get inside the monastery, but not to disturb anyone if he can help it.
All right.
Oh, nice. Oh, tell me all about it,
Yes.
stranger.
Yes, the monastery is broken up into multiple different parts. Uh, there are a few buildings outside of the main monastery to the sides of it, but there's also the main monastery itself. The main monastery is where a lot of the intellectual work is done. So, just whatever you do not interrupt people's work. They will remember it. And I don't need that on me because you're with me. Do you understand?
I understand, Sir Reginald.
All right. One more thing. And with that, I'll undo his ropes, and then give him back his shield. The
Oh,
minute you
about
see,
time.
yes, the minute you see Stryker, pull him to the side.
All right.
Well, here's the thing. How the hell you know I'm there? Remember, I was on the boat.
If you're wondering how I would know, it's simple. Think like the person that you have to deal with the most. I've been dealing with the assassin leader throughout this whole trip, and dealing with you throughout this whole trip. You're gonna try to
Yeah.
escape. They're gonna try to kill you.
You right.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
See, never wrong. I can't really do that. Yeah, I was like, if I was them, I would have done the same thing. I was like, Striker, let's go. I was
Sir,
like, what?
Sir Regios, the professional.
Sir Reginald's the professional.
We'll see how professional. You guys continue up the pathway and are met with a fork in the road. One path to the left, one path to the right, which seems to snake up into the mountains.
If I remember correctly, we went to the right. That's what we're going with. Path to the right.
Going to the right?
Yep.
All right, going to the right. Is that your final answer?
Hold on.
Ding, 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 ding.
Carry the one. Yes, yes. According to maths, yes.
Okay.
We're going to the right.
You guys turn to the right and continue walking for, probably another 45 minutes to an hour. And then are greeted by, as you round a bend, that nice, small, ornate stone wall with the gatehouse and intricately carved dragon's head atop it, and the terraced slopes of the monastery beyond.
Now, just simply say to Goat, welcome.
Oh, wow, this place is really nice, snazzy. How old is this place?
Hard to say, really. You have to ask one of the people who built this place. And I'll continue to walk forward.
I mean, is the person that built this place, like, dead? Because this place is really old?
I'll just simply look over my shoulder. You'd be surprised how many of years some of these people have lived.
Well, like, they're like 65? That's pretty old.
That would be pretty old for this time period.
Yes.
My great-grandpa died at 47.
It's a good thing I don't... Wait, I just realized I don't have my water. No wonder why I feel like I've been drying out this whole time we've been talking.
You fool!
It's not my fault! Okay, it kind of is my fault, but I'm going to say
Okay.
it's not my fault this time. Even though it totally is. I thought I grabbed it after I finished cleaning up down here.
Well, you'll have an opportunity in a few minutes.
Very nice.
So, you walk through the stately gates and into the compound, and you're on the first terrace with the barley and wheat fields and the brewers' huts and people streaming back and forth with goods and the occasional noble person going up or down the hill with their slightly dissatisfied look on their faces.
Some things don't change. And I'll continue to start making my way up to the second level.
Noel, you just sticking with him for now?
Yeah, I'm sticking with him. I don't know around my place, my way around.
Okay, all right. You guys ascend through the whole first terrace, go across the little plank bridge, crossing the stream, double back around, and make your way up to the second terrace. And here, the fields have melted away and are replaced by multiple small huts and stately-looking buildings, some of which have odd-colored smoke coming out of the chimneys. Others have peculiar metal instruments sitting out on their front porches or sticking out of their roofs. And still others have gaggles of old wizened men with long white beards and robes sort of gathered around small tables with sheafs of parchment in their hands, arguing with each other in languages you can't understand.
Well, languages he wouldn't be able to understand, but any of them that I might know being spoken.
Remind me what languages Seregios has.
Let's go down to my language list. So obviously he knows Uru, he knows Mabina, Sarai.
And Sarai. Yeah, you actually do not recognize whatever language the old men are arguing in.
Okay.
Maybe they're speaking that fictional language called Latin. You heard of that, Sir Reginald?
Sir Reginald just raises an eyebrow. You're messing with me at this point, aren't you?
No, I heard about it. I read about it in the book.
They're speaking bumfuck, you know.
I want to see whatever this book is, but for now, let's keep moving.
All right. You
I heard
guys...
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
They're speaking language called, I read it somewhere, hood rat.
Why do we let you talk?
They're speaking chicken head. I think that's what it's also called.
Wait. You joke, but that actually is a language.
I know it is, but that's why it's fun.
You see that old man on the left? He's punching his hand every time he's making a point.
He goes. The other one's going.
Read facet! Investum est!
I can't. I can't. I just can't. I can't. I'm trying, but I can't.
Yeah, Michael, he's talking about how his wife left him for a nobleman.
So, Mighty Mage, how are you today?
Oh, doing great. I love these wonderful tangents that we go down.
Put in the comment section below if you enjoyed this particular tangent or if you think that somebody needs to stop.
I think it's great.
These are funny.
Hey, man, these monks are people just like us. They just are enlightened now.
It wouldn't be us if we didn't do this, okay?
That's true. We
That
wouldn't
is
be
true.
Fail PG otherwise.
Yeah.
So, you guys pass the arguing monks and whatever familial and household troubles they might be discussing, and ascend another switchback corner up to the third terrace level. Up here, the air is very cold, and there's actually some frost lying on the ground. It's taken you, the better part of 2 hours to ascend to this height. And the valley stretches out before you in great magnificence, and the whole city of Kish is spread out before you from here. But it looks so small, even though you know it's many miles wide. And turning further up the mountainside, now the buildings have grown quite large and even more stately. They seem to be made from fine marble or granite. The stonework is immaculate, the finest you have ever seen, better than any of the palaces, even in Uruk or Murad, with stonework so tight that the joints require no mortar at all.
Wow.
And outside, very, posh and respectable elderly gentlemen with long beards, and a handful of stern and stately women as well, in nice, fine, flowing robes of white, are mingling back and forth between the various buildings, most of them with either large tomes or bundles of scrolls in their arms as they go. Most of them don't spare you more than a passing glance, though.
Oh, look at these uppity people. Not even a hi or what's going on. How can I help you?
Yes, yes, they are busy with their works. However, we're only here to see one of two people at the moment that who you would come up here to see. Most people come up here to see the Oracle.
Where is he located exactly, or is that like buried?
The Oracle can sometimes change location around here, but usually tends to stay up there. And I'll point up to the highest point of the upper deck.
Mm-hmm. The pathway near the top of the third terrace seems to abruptly degrade and turn into little more than a goat trail. But right before it does, it seems to curve sharply off to the left, as if it's going straight into the mountainside. But from here, you can't see why. And actually, as you're looking up the trail there, you see a trio of dark hooded figures following another fellow who looks vaguely familiar.
Well,
This is your opportunity to go get a drink. Hey, Striker.
I
You guys have ascended up to the third terrace and walked past the very stately marble buildings and their stuffy, dusty occupants with their sheaves of parchment and books. So, this is the level where the historians and the linguists and the scholars tend to reside, and the most likely level where you might be able to get an answer about this parchment of yours, this scroll of great importance. Where are you going?
Yeah, I tell him, hey, I think we might be able to find an answer here instead of going all the way up. Because these guys, if I'm not mistaken, these guys translate for them. Want to check it out?
Yes, let's get on with it. I don't want to linger here any longer than we must.
All right, so can I check around and I'm gonna put this. See, you said how many? It's like a couple buildings, right?
Yeah, there are a couple fairly large buildings, and plenty
Uh,
of people walking around on the road or the pathway that you could speak to.
I want to. What's that? You hear that too, right?
Yeah, I hear that too. Like a radio or something in the background?
yeah.
Yeah, something in the background.
It's not yours, is it?
No.
Goat, are you watching something?
Mm-hmm.
Are you
Oh,
watching
sorry.
something?
Oh no, just something happened. Just Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Continue.
So yeah, I want to check to see if I know like the exact building that we need to go into, or the person like in general that might know how to translate this pretty much.
All right, give me a 12 side for intelligence.
It went bounce, you freaking it was about to be 12. You bastard.
Oh,
I
if it
blame you.
bounced and it was about to be a 12, sounds like it's a 1.
No, it's a 3.
A 3 with your -1 modifier. That doesn't help
It
you.
was straight up. It said clink 3. It was like
You remember that there are smart people up here, probably, who might know something.
can I at least see if I notice anything written on the buildings itself at least?
Sure, that'll be a perception check.
All right, let me don't I'm blocking this now. Okay, that's a 7. Okay.
All right. You look around and there is writing at the peaks of each of these buildings' entrances. Unfortunately, the glyphs are not in any language that you recognize.
You bastards.
Mhm.
I just look
You
at
didn't
them
think they'd
like
make it that easy for you, did
I look
you?
at them and said, "Do y'all understand half of these languages?"
You talking to the people wandering around or the assassins?
The assassins.
The assassins just kind of look at you and they're like, "We were following you.
Uh,
We've never been here before. No, we can't read those."
So then, can I ask somebody off the streets?
Yes, you can ask someone on the street.
All right. Now, this is for if they actually talk to me and just don't look at me all uppity and snooty. Unless I just grab them by the throat and say, "What the hell am I?" You know what? I just quit today. It's a 2.
You
I just quit today.
you approach an elderly-looking woman carrying a bunch of scrolls as she's walking past you from one building to another, and she pauses as she's walking and turns to you. Can I help you, dearie?
Hi, ma'am. You looking lovely today.
And she blushes a little bit. Oh, thank you.
I asked, do you know where I could find anyone? And I just show a part of the thing. Like, do you know where anybody can decrypt this?
Decrypt. A translator. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And she points up the pathway. 2 buildings to up the pathway on your right. Go in there, dearie. Gunther should be able to help you, yes.
Oh, thank you so much. And I wink at her. I was like,
Ooh. She blushes a little bit more and scurries off into her building.
So I was like, she seems like she knows what she's talking about.
And the lead assassin just sort of rolls his eyes, but follows you.
But then I was like, hold on. Let me ask somebody else. I want to look for somebody at least a little bit younger that actually might know something.
Give me a 12 for perception.
Oh, here we go again.
You're doing it to yourself.
Shut up. 10.
All right, you take a real thorough look at all the people wandering up and down the pathway, and none of them really look like they're any younger. You got old ladies or old men to choose from?
I just choose the first old man that I see, I guess.
All right, there's an old man with kind of a tempestuous glare, carrying a large book, going down the pathway towards you, and you flag him down. And he turns to you kind of abruptly. Yeah?
Hey, I'm sorry to bother you. This nice old lady just told me that 2 houses up is where somebody can translate this. I'm just making sure that is it that building or is it that building?
It's that building. And he points to the same one the old lady pointed to.
Okay. Just
and just continues on his way.
Thank you. These fucking people.
And about this point, you hear the assassin behind you say, "Oh, shit."
Run! That's all I say. I don't even say nothing else. As soon as I say, I already know who you're talking about.
Regios and Noel, you see Stryker and the assassins just suddenly start running up the hill further up the 3rd terrace, shortly after they come into your view.
No, you see what Stryker's doing right now? Don't do that
Yeah.
here. And I'm just going to calmly walk and follow.
Well, it's Stryker. I mean, I'm not surprised. I should be, but I'm not.
You know, he's trying to get himself killed, right?
I wouldn't say trying. It's just Stryker being Stryker. I wouldn't say he's trying to get killed.
You say Stryker being Stryker, I say Stryker getting himself killed. It's all the same thing at the end of the day.
It's all a part of the
yeah,
plan.
but you said word trying. I don't think he's trying. It's just happening.
I'm about to say, I'm not trying. I never try. It's always that.
You know what? I think that was a good time for this to happen.
No, you're not playing.
Yes, I'm playing. I'm playing it now. It's playing now.
Oh god, dang. It's not. Look, if I was trying to get killed, I would have done something even extra stupid to get myself killed. And now I'm making the assassin fall into a low sense of what's the word?
Security?
Thank you, my man.
Sure.
Thinking I'm on his side.
Uh-huh.
I know you was gonna be there. Hell yeah, damn it! I want y'all to save me. I ain't dying today.
Sergio's just gonna continue to walk.
That seems
Why
like
you think?
convenient
Why you
writing.
think I've been? Why you think I've been trying to drag him along this whole time?
So Seregios is following at a walking pace. Noel, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just following Sir Reginald.
Reginald. Reginald.
All right. Striker, I assume that you're running into the building that the old lady directed you to.
And I'm making sure they see me when I'm running too. And I look at them backwards and they're like, "Oh crap!" and just run into the place.
All right. You run up into the building, passing several rather startled orderlies on your way in, and
I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
immediately come into a surprisingly large vestibule. It's probably 15 or 20 feet square, with a ceiling that is much higher than it really needs to be, probably a 20-foot ceiling. And there's a single large granite desk in the center of the room, and an actual rather young man is seated at that desk. And he kind of glances up in your direction as you guys sort of charge in. There's no door exactly, so there's nothing for you to like barge through, but your hurried pace does startle him a little bit. Excuse me.
Oh yes.
May I help you?
Yes. Sorry for the startle. We are here on business, if I should say. We need this documented, translated as soon as possible. I'm winking at him like, soon as possible.
Like, sir, what's wrong with your eye?
Shut the fuck up.
The young man gives you a very peculiar stare for a moment and then says, "Allow me to see the document, please."
I hold on to it. I'm like,
I can't translate it if I don't have the document.
you are right. And I give it to him, but I'm holding on to it a little bit. And I was like, please do not lose this document.
Sir,
And it shall come back to my hand when you are done.
sir, we are very careful here.
Okay.
You have nothing to worry about.
And I let it go, and I give it to him.
And he kind of takes it, still kind of looking at you a little bit suspiciously, and then spreads it out on the table. This is only the second time that you've seen it like fully unfurled, and it is only now that it occurs to you that it's really quite oversized for a scroll, much larger than most you have seen before. And the little block of mysterious, untranslatable text takes up a very small portion of this much larger scroll. So it just seems odd that there's so much empty canvas for so little text. And the young man takes some small stone weights and places them on the ends of the scroll to keep it unfolded, and then leans over it, pulls his candle a little bit closer. My dear, this is most intriguing.
What's intriguing?
This scroll is extremely old.
Really?
This dialect is familiar, but I don't remember exactly what... Where did you obtain this, if I might ask?
It was given to me by a fellow friend who, let's just say, he deals in old artifacts, I should say, and this scroll was a part of it.
But where?
I don't know. I can't really tell you. He gave it to me. He said, I told him I'd never seen it before, but I might know somebody that, that can translate it from my travels. And I thought about this place.
I see. I see.
No, put your hands down. Put your hand down.
How close are we? That's all I want to know.
You're getting there. You're getting there. You took a walking pace, so it's going to be a few minutes yet.
Yeah, I ran.
The young man looks it over again and says, "Oh dear. I cannot translate this. I'm afraid this language is foreign to me. You will need to speak to the lawmaster herself. We ordinarily charge 25 gold for the privilege of speaking with her. She's very busy, you understand. But this is a most unusual case. I believe she would be willing to make an exception." And he moves the candle carefully back away from the scroll, removes the stones, and very delicately rolls the thing up and hands it back to you,
Thank you.
and stands and places his hands into the folds of his robe and says, "Please, follow me." And rounds the desk and starts heading back out onto the pathway. And right about that moment is when Seregios and Noel happen to walk up the steps to the building. And y'all meet right there on the steps.
Hey guys.
Let me guess. Lore Master.
And the lead assassin just goes,
and I look at him and say, and then while the assassin is probably doing that, like,
This is what happens when you deviate from the plan. And now it's going to come out of your pocket. And I look at the lead assassin.
The lead assassin just looks back and arches an eyebrow, but says nothing and makes no move to agree or disagree. The young man kind of looks hesitantly between the group of you. Is there a problem?
Not for you to worry about. Please, lead the way. And
I
I'll
was like,
step to the side to let him pass by.
He eyes the group of you a little bit suspiciously and then continues a little hesitantly walking further up the terrace.
and I'm just like, so did y'all find what y'all needed? Yeah? All right. Let's go.
And as
What? It's with me. I ain't trying to die.
the assassins stick very close to you, Striker. Especially Twitchy, who's right
My
behind
buddy.
you and still kind of, doing his little thing.
It's okay, Twitchy. It's okay, Twitchy.
I know. This is great. And the young man turns back and looks at him for a moment and says, "You know, our alchemists on the second level might be able to help him with that."
I'll look up at the young man. Yes, I know. Something that I would have been able to prescribe, however. Our group got separated, and I'm not even sure if our dear friend would like to help his associate.
The lead assassin glares daggers at you, Seregios, but then turns to the young man and says, "After the translation, if you don't mind." Then the young man bows respectfully, "As you wish."
I'm just sitting in my head, I was like, man, if one of them two don't kill each other by the end of this, I feel like it's coming.
You guys continue up the pathway until it makes that sharp left turn. Although now, as you're closer, you can see that it does not lead into just a solid rock wall, as you first suspected. There is actually a fantastically ornate archway that has been carved into the rock of the mountainside. It stands well more than 20 feet tall at its peak and is flanked by two very ornately carved dragons whose tails rise up and then intertwine at the very top. And just inset from the archway is a pair of massive double doors, which appear to be made of some very fine and heavily laid wood. And the young man turns back to face you and kind of regards all of you for a moment. The Lawmaster has a present appointment. I will let you in so you may wait for her, but first I must ask you to relinquish your weapons.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
And he gestures, and there's actually an equally ornate wooden rack off to one side, just inside the archway, which looks like it was purpose-built for holding weapons, many shapes and sizes. And there are enough slots on the rack for everyone, even the assassins and their 50 million daggers, to place all of their weapons comfortably.
And of course, I'll walk over.
Can your shovel actually fit in there?
And I'll just. Did you forget the last time we were here?
God dang, y'all can never have no fun with you. Take off my bow, like, and I was
My
like,
spear, my dagger, my cutlass, my
I didn't even get to the rest of my weapons. God dang, just like, all of a sudden, no, just like, I'm like, what the hell? I was like,
He's, if nothing else, he's efficient.
This is like one of those cartoons where you just see them keep pulling weapons out of their various stuff.
It's like Roger Rabbit all over again.
His weapon.
How did
You
that
see the young man's eyes get kind of wide as he watches just the sheer number of weapons you all pull out and lay on the rack.
I said, what the? He probably like, what the hell are y'all, assassins? No, they're assassins. We're just...
Right then. You can go in. I need to retrieve a few reference materials for her base, but you're welcome to let yourselves in and make yourselves comfortable. But please don't touch anything. The Lawmaster is very particular about her belongings.
Oh,
that's
don't
you,
worry,
no.
we
And I say, that's you, no.
Oh, her?
Yes.
Don't touch anything, no.
And with that, he reaches up to the side of the wall and places his hand on what appears to be empty rock. And suddenly a brick just sort of depresses into the side of the hill. And you hear a loud click, and then some mechanical whirring and groaning, and the huge oaken doors slowly creak open to admit you to a very long hallway that delves deep into the mountainside.
Oh, I'm like, this is fancy. You're like, wow, how much y'all pay for this?
And I'm just sitting there like, you don't get out much, do you?
And I look at Stryker. Just remember not to touch anything this time.
Wait, I didn't touch nothing last time.
And I just look at him with a sideward glance. Are you really gonna sit here and tell me you forgot?
No, I'm telling you this now. I'd never touched anything.
Oh, he's lying through his teeth. That's our good old
I'm
striker.
serious. I didn't touch anything last time.
All right, that's enough. Get moving. You're first. You're the one with the scroll. And I'll just push him through the way, walk away, and
Can I
follow.
contest that? Can I contest that push?
If you want, yeah, so it'd be a contested strength roll. 12 sides.
What's your strength again? What's your strength modifier again?
+2.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna have a real bad time. +4.
Let's see.
Let's see.
I mean, maybe he gets lucky, and this is the one time. What did you get? What did you get?
Yeah, you push me.
What do you get?
4, 5, 6. So that's 6 altogether.
Okay, I rolled a 7.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm afraid, Stryker, you get shoved through the open doorway into the hall.
What? One of these days, you won't be able to push me.
Yes, one of these days you'll learn better balance, I'm sure. And then I'll just look at Noel and motion him to follow behind Stryker, and then I'll follow behind Noel.
Okay.
At this point, my goal is to split the assassins up from Stryker.
Well, you're trying that, but the lead assassin stays right on his right on his shoulder, basically, refusing to let you get between him and Stryker.
And I'm just thinking in my head, like, come on.
Hey,
Get
can
me
I
away
roll
from
to
him.
do a can I roll to do like a little slick, like, oblivious trip, like put my leg in a way or something?
Who are you tripping?
The lead assassin.
Yeah, you can try it. That'll be a dex throw, I think.
Well,
And with
considering what he's
12,
trying to do, I think there's probably two roles in this: the dex roll and then probably performance because he's trying to make it look like an accident. I guess.
Yeah, we'll get to that after the trip.
Yeah.
what do you want me to roll? A 12 or a 20?
12.
That'd be a 12.
Okay. Oh, I got a critical failure for that. Damn.
Oh. So he didn't even make it to the first half of it.
You try to stick your leg out in such a way as to trip the lead assassin, but end up stumbling over your own boots and fall flat on your own face.
Oh man.
The lead assassin
Does it at least
kind of turns
does
briefly
it
to look at
distract
you
him?
like, "What's wrong with you?"
I'm about to say, does it distract him enough that it kind of tickles the
Oh
rest just
man.
a little bit?
All my
No, it's
practice
just
rolls.
Noel that falls on his face.
I got a bunch of good rolls doing my practice rolls. I used up all my stuff in my practice.
See, this is why you
That's the
don't
danger
roll
of
them.
practice rolls, man.
I think it's
Sucked up
because
all
I
your
ain't
own
used these
luck.
dice last time. That's why it's like, oh, so you didn't bring me last time? You know what? Failure.
Sergio sees this and just shakes his head and then looks at the other assassins and go, whatever you do, don't do that either.
Put your
Walks over and without looking at him just reaches down to give Noel a hand getting up.
Wow, I didn't know you had it in you, man. I didn't know you were so courteous. And I grabbed his hand.
Goes, if you're on the ground, then I look back. And then he looks at you and just says, please dust yourself off, and then continues walking.
So I guess I'm leading the charge. So I'm just
What?
walking in and I'm just like, oh man, why am I here again? I tried to stay away from this place so many times before. I still don't know what he's talking about that I touched up. I ain't touched up. But I'm just like, let's get in, get out. And I'm like, and then I think in my head, it was like, please, oh please, all tall, dark, and shovelly. Don't let this man kill me. Like I might, if we get this through, I will never bother you again, ever again. I'm just sitting there like, you will never see me again. I will retire. You will never see me again. And I turn back and I look at him and like, please, give him the look like, help me, help me.
Help you.
Without even
As he's
moving.
doing all that, Sergio's just no cells.
Mhm,
Just
mhm.
stone faced the whole way. And just looks up at Striker. What are you waiting for? Keep moving. And then just keeps on walking.
I was like, can I talk to you real quick?
And the assassin actually grabs you by the shoulder and helps push you along down the hall.
I
Move,
just
we're
need to talk to
almost
him.
done.
I just need to talk to him real quick.
Later.
Well,
So to sell this to the lead assassin, he will groan and roll his eyes and goes, you have 5 seconds. What is it? And it better be good.
I kind of need to hide my face.
And
Striker, give me a 12 side for strength.
Oh, 5.
The lead assassin grabs you more firmly by the arm and starts pulling you down the hallway. We don't have time for this.
Sir Regios will
Later.
actually grab him by his other shoulder and pull him back and says, wait, he has a point.
And the lead assassin just sort of turns and looks at you. But remembering that he had to give up all of his weapons, just regards you for a moment and then releases Striker. Make it quick.
And he goes, looks at Striker. Yes, you do need to hide your face. Now you remember what you did. And
No,
will
I
take
don't.
off his
That's
cloak and put it
I'm like,
around Stryker and
I'm
put
like,
it over
no,
Stryker's
it's
head.
not. I didn't touch anything.
But as he's doing it, he will lean into Stryker and go, "I get it. Keep quiet. Shut up. Keep moving."
Okay, okay. And I
and
go,
then and then goes, "Just make sure you don't do what you did last time." And then pushes Stryker to keep walking.
and I let him push me. I'm like, oh, thank God. And I walk and I was like, when I keep my head down, and I'm like, can I see if there's like any like, I know shit, we inside of a mountain. So would it be like some like, depending on the
Yeah,
type
that's
of
something.
mountain?
Yeah, that's something I actually didn't think about asking. The hallway that we're in,
Yeah.
that we're walking through, is it more stone and mountainside itself, or is it more of they've carved this out and it looks a little bit like with actual walls put up and
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask.
like, are we walking
So
on top of
the
cobblestone, or are we walking just on solid mountain rock? What are we?
And dirt and all that stuff.
the floor appears to be some kind of polished, dense stone like marble or granite.
Oh
Dang it.
wow.
Um,
That's not work for me then.
the walls are perfectly smooth. And when I say perfectly, I mean there are no tool marks at all, anywhere along the entire length of the tunnel.
That's pretty impressive.
What I was about to ask, well, never mind, because I was like, is there like a little pile of dirt or mud or anything? Because we're inside of a cave mountain. I could just
Yeah,
like put it around my face, make it look like I'm somebody else. But that
it's
doesn't work, so I'll just use the cloak.
it's
Nope.
very nice. It is kind
Pristine.
of dimly lit, but there are sconces regularly cut into the tunnel with small torches placed inside them. And the tunnel itself is about a football field in length, about 100 yards.
Is there
So it
soot?
takes you a little while to go down to the end. And there's another uh, fairly ornate archway at the very end with another set of double doors. These, though, are much thinner looking and lighter and more, it looks like, for show than they are for keeping out the cold. It is still pretty chilly in the tunnel, though, although you are out of the wind.
So with those torches, would they produce any like soot or anything?
Give me a 12 side for perception.
You
I
know
got a
what?
7.
You know what? I'll roll with him. I'll roll with him on that one.
Okay. What'd you get, Striker?
7.
I also got a 7.
You
Ooh,
guys are
nice.
eyeing the torches and looking at them for a few minutes. As you're walking by, you realize there's something off about them. You don't see any smoke rising off of the flames.
What the hell? I was like, well, that doesn't kind of help with anything. So I'm just hoping this cloak actually works.
You guys get to the end of the hall and to this large door. You can't really hear anything inside the room, but the young man did tell you guys that you could go right in and make yourselves at home as long as you didn't touch anything.
Can I do a perception check of the room to see?
You gotta just pop your head in or something? Or?
Yeah, just pop a head in real quick. Just take a look to see what's around. To anybody, just in case anybody else in there that might know my face.
All right. You pop the door open. Give me a 12 for your perception.
I got the dot at the bottom is a 6.
Okay. You look around really quickly and you don't see anyone in the chamber.
Okay. All right. That's work for me. Before I walk in, I'm just like, okay, don't see anybody. I think there's a seat right over there. I'm just gonna go right to that, sit down, don't do anything, don't touch anything. I want to make it out of this thing alive. So I'll start heading over towards that.
All right. You open the double doors and your little group walks into the chamber. The chamber is brightly lit, a large chandelier with torches instead of candles hanging from the 40-foot ceiling. Along the left wall, which would be the west, there is an exquisitely carved mural, it looks like, that spans the entire length of the wall, almost 20 feet. In front of you to the north is another wall, which is 2/3 lined with bookshelves that go almost the whole way to the vaulted ceiling. except for one small archway which appears to lead into another adjacent chamber, which has what looks like curtains and things in it. Might be a personal sleeping chamber. To the right, what would be the east of the room, in the middle of the room, there is an unreasonably large lounge chair. I don't know if you know what that looks like, but it's basically a cushioned seat that is stretched out very long, and you're meant to sort of recline on it rather than sit in it. You've never seen one this large. You're not even sure, but probably 3 or 4 people could lay comfortably on this lounge chair. Next to it are a series of about 7 or 8 normal person-sized high-backed chairs situated around a small round table with a very nice fireplace situated behind them on the south-facing wall. The fireplace is unlit. Further to the east, the wall curves around with more bookshelves that rise up to the 40-foot ceiling. And then there is a gap between the east and southern walls where there is yet another large and ornate archway 20 feet high with white semi-transparent curtains draped over it, billowing in apparently a gusty wind. It is positively freezing in the room, but there is no one else there.
So I go and I'm looking around. I'm like, some of the stuff looks new, but I think I'm just gonna do the smart thing and go sit down. So I'm gonna go towards the regular chairs instead of laying down because then it won't draw attention to myself. Like, why the hell is he laying down? So I'm just gonna go sit there and just.
Yeah, I will signal for Noel to do the same, and I will actually walk over towards the fireplace to start a fire.
Okay. All right, you head over to the fireplace, and there are logs situated in the hearth. No apparent materials for starting the fire, though. No flint and tinder, no kindling. It's just whole logs piled up.
That's a bit strange. Not unless they're using magic to start the fires around here, which would probably also explain the smoke not being there on the flames in the archway.
This place is pretty yikes. It looks like it's built. It doesn't seem natural how this place is built.
Wait, did you see the faces of the whole Kage over there? Dang, you know what I'm saying?
Sergio just looks at him. Oh, what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's some stuff that I learned in my travels.
He just thinks about it for a second, and then remembers that this is Stryker. This could just be another tall tale. So he just waves it off. Pulls out his playing deck, card deck.
You think I'm just around here trying to find the One Piece? Come on, man.
One piece of what?
Exactly.
A brain, I would assume. And at that point, Sergios will just pull out his playing card deck, and he'll just start shuffling it.
Right,
and he'll look at Noel and go, "You ever played 21?"
No, I haven't.
Can't even count past 5. What are you talking about?
The lead assassin, kind of looks at you sidelong and is like, seriously? You're going to start a game of cards?
Well, we don't know how long it'll be until she's finished with her appointment. It's better to do something to keep our minds busy and not think about how cold we are than to sit here and freeze thinking about how cold we are.
Yeah.
I actually agree with that.
You could sit and join, but I'll leave that up to you.
And the assassin just stuffs his hands into the voluminous robes that he's wearing and stands sort of stoically off to one side.
And I'm just like, and I'll sit there like, come on. Like, it's just a game.
Oh,
I know you're not afraid.
Don't.
I know you're not afraid. Come on. I know he's not afraid of losing.
Yes.
Oh man, if Striker's calling you a loser, you better play. You don't want that. You don't want that in your conscience.
All right. Stryker and Noel both roll me a 12 side for performance.
God damn it. No, you had to continue. Huh? You had to say something. No.
Well, I got a 9.
I got a 7.
9 and a 7.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
8. Yeah. He scowls at you guys a little bit more, and then sort of brusquely strides forward, sits down in one of the other high back chairs, and slides it up to the round table in the middle. All right, then.
Oh, there you go.
One game.
See, I told you he not afraid. Let's do this.
All right then. I'll be dealer. You three will be my players. Anybody willing to make this interesting?
Do we really want you to be the dealer?
Twitchy sits down in a chair next to
Lord, not
Sergio.
Twitchy. Oh Lord.
I'm in.
Oh God.
Now it's a game.
You know what? Yeah, you can be the dealer. Don't let him be the one.
And Sergio, as you are starting to deal the cards out to everybody around the table, the other assassin just sort of wanders around the room. But a minute or two later, you hear a fluttering sound out on the towards that archway with the billowing curtains.
That's what you hear.
And you all look up. You notice that there's a lot of sunlight streaming through there, and you wonder if maybe there might be a balcony out there. And that fluttering sound sounded an awful lot like something big, like an eagle or a vulture or something landing on the platform.
Hold on, let me see if I can do that.
Do I have like straight peripheral vision of this balcony at all?
Well, did you sit in a
Somewhere
seat that was facing the southeast wall? I leave that up to you.
We'll
thought
say
I
yes.
Okay.
And he sat next to me, so yeah, so we're both there.
So you clearly heard the sound, but you can't see anything like out on this balcony. All you can really see is the semi-transparent white curtain over the archway, which is fluttering and billowing in the wind.
I'm gonna continue to deal the cards, but I'm gonna try to keep one eye on the assassin walking around and the other eye on the balcony.
It's going to be an impressive trick. I'm kind of seeing Sergio's eyes going.
No, wait. I go.
Yes.
Noel looks at him. He goes, "I see what you're doing." I kind of nod to him. All right, I'll take that one. I'll look at
And I see both of them, and I'm like, and that's it.
So we're all on the same page. Lovely.
And I look at him all confused, like.
And
the
I'll
assassins don't know.
just start talking. Easiest way to play this game, if you haven't played it already, simple. 21. Face cards are 10. If you get an ace, that counts as 1 or 11, depending on what you may need it for. If you go over, you will simply go bust. Meaning that you've lost.
And I go like, that's what she said.
The one with the highest number of cards, if no one gets 21, will be considered the winner.
I forgot this is back in the past, so I said that's what I said. I forgot we're back in the past. I can't say.
And he just side glances at Stryker and just goes, so anyway, if you wish to draw more cards, please say so.
And as you say that, you hear a loud thump on the other side of that archway, followed by another loud thump a moment later. And then another. And then a sort of dragging sound and a softer thump. And another thump. And Sergios, you can start to see what looks like a shadow interrupting the sunlight streaming through the archway.
At that point, Sergios goes from his relaxed position and straightens up and puts his hands on his lap and then goes, no one panic. But I think maybe we should pick up the cards and shift ourselves to a slightly different position.
I agree.
And I'll be like, and I look over and I was like, oh, yeah, I think we should move.
And Sir Regios will reach for the deck of cards and slowly move his hand to grab them and put them back in his pouch.
Mm.
And as you're grabbing the cards off of the table to put them in your pouch, the semi-transparent curtain is brushed aside, and the originator of the thumping noise steps into the chamber. And gentlemen, you are confronted by a 9-foot tall, white feathered dragon.
A real one or a statue?
No.
A real one.
Wow.
Can I I got my hood on and something, but I was like, I
Is
know I
it
can see a little
friendly?
bit. Can I see if I know this dragon? Like,
That's where we're going to end it for tonight.
oh, come
Aw.
on. Come on.
Oh, that was just getting interesting. Oh, nice cliffhanger.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
An actual dragon in Dragon Ball Z,
Mm.
who's not Shenlong.
Or if you in GT, the whole other.
Well,
dragons
we
that
don't talk about GT. GT never happened.
GT, what's
doesn't
GT?
exist.
What's GT? I don't know what that is.
GT isn't even worth absorbing.
He only had one good form out of that whole thing. Goku becoming a kid again. That was the only good form.
That was even worse.
Mhm.
I know they did it so wrong. Yeah, so wrong.
Close this out, Boss Ross.
No, man, I'm not closing out because next time on Dragon Ball Z, will this dragon burn us to death or freeze us?
Or is it friendly?
Or is it friendly?
Yeah.
We don't know. We'll know. Try to hide in a barrel once again to hide away from this dragon. Where Sir Tall, Dark, and Chevrolet actually finally get those cards in his pocket.
We'll see if we get eaten.
Do we have a piece of chicken?
Sacrifice
Maybe we
maybe.
get a piece of chicken. It'd be friendly. It'll be our dragon now.
Will the assassins actually turn around to see this dragon? Probably not, because they don't probably believe anything we say out of our mouths half of the time. Or will he at least kill Sir Dark and Chevrolet before the end of this episode for pissing him off countless
If anything,
times?
it might end up being the other way around if Striker's lucky.
Will Striker ever get lucky? Wait, that came out wrong.
Too late, you already said it.
Find out next time on Failed PG. And don't forget, if you like this content, you love our craziness, our crazy people that, do this, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment. Even if you don't like it, you can, don't like it, but still leave a comment. We take all types of criticism around here. And don't forget to hit that bell notification for all the updates for every time this episode, well, when this episode comes out and all the other episodes. Other than that, we're Failed PG and the Universal Fail. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.